Hello and welcome to Arsenal Analysed. I'm JC. I hope you're doing well. In today's video, I bring you some tactical analysis. Arsenal 2, Aston Villa 1. Arsenal still sitting pretty at the top of the Premier League after a perfect August. 5 out of 5, 15 points. What a good start this has been for the Arsenal. But I'll be breaking down everything Arsenal versus Aston Villa. So if you are looking forward to this video, go ahead and smash the like button, subscribe if you're new around here, get that notification bell button on as fixtures are coming thick and fast. But let's waste no more time at all and jump into the basics, shall we? Kicking off with the starting lineup, there were a few surprises, if you will. And what I mean by that is I was expecting Arteta to rotate maybe 3 or 4, maybe even 5 players, wholesale changes. Now, I know Arsenal have had a fantastic start to the season, but with 3 games in the space of around a week and a huge fixture away from home against Manchester United coming up, I did half expect some changes, resting a few legs and then giving minutes to a few others, and I was very much mistaken. Tierney kept his place ahead of Zinchenko due to injury. Sambi coming in for El Neni, who replaced Partey, and then Sambi replacing El Neni. So Arsenal could potentially do with some extra legs in midfield. But after his performance today, one of 4 players up for the vote of man of the match. Maybe Arsenal don't need a new midfield player after all. Maybe he's already at the club. Again, Arsenal looked fairly good at the back in the first half, although Aston Villa did come at Arsenal quite heavy in the second half. Very, very open game of football, which was highlighted in the commentary. Ramsdale, another kind of hit and miss performance from him. He wasn't often tested with only 3 shots on target for Villa, but their goal could have been dealt with a little bit better, in my opinion. But we'll come on to that in a later part of this video. Odegaard also came off late in the game. Hopefully nothing too serious. Hopefully it's just precautionary, because he has been absolutely fantastic in this run that Arsenal have had. And he could be a vital member of this team in the upcoming fixture against Manchester United. But apart from that, there are some other names that we will speak about as the video goes on. Arsenal looking to dominate possession once again with 60%. Arsenal have averaged 57% possession throughout the season so far. So we are dominating games, and 22 shots is absolutely fantastic. There were games last season where we had this amount of shots, but we just weren't hitting the target or the back of the net. And this game could have easily have been 4 or 5 goals to Arsenal, especially just in the first half alone. XG in a really good place for Arsenal, creating very, very good opportunities compared to Aston Villa. Whilst at times it did look like it was end-to-end stuff, the opportunities they were creating didn't result in shots, and it was just a lot of them in and around the Arsenal area. Arsenal did have 10 corners, and we are one of the highest for conversion from set pieces in the Premier League. However, on this occasion, none were converted from set pieces, but it's nice to see that some of our attacks are resulting in corners when they are getting shots on target. We're continuing that pressure, which is always needed, and the passing accuracy is in and around where it needs to be as well. One thing I will say, especially in that first half, we can see here that Aston Villa had 14 fouls compared to Arsenal's 10. Not much of a difference in it, but I would say in that first 20 to 25 minutes, Arsenal could have potentially had a penalty, and there were some very, very tasty challenges, one of note on Martinelli as well. So a little bit surprised that the referee didn't double down on any of that. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. With regards to some top statistics from some top performers, 3 aerial duels won by Gabriel Jesus, 6 apiece for Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli, 3 tackles, 1 from Kamara, Konza and Ramsey of Villa, highest top of the shop there, 3 interceptions for Digne. The rest is Arsenal, 96% passing accuracy from Gabriel. Bukayo Saka, 3 key passes alongside Martin Odegaard. 5 long balls completed from Sambi Lokonga and Kieran Tierney, 2 crosses completed by Saka, as well as 5 dribbles. And finally, Martinelli with 5 shots in total. That's blocked, off target, and on target. I think Martinelli is now third in, well, not third, but 3 in a row for highest amount of shots, an absolute threat going forward. And one thing that I did want to highlight here is just how much Bukayo Saka features in this top statistics. Although he's out of form and potentially low on confidence, he's still in and amongst it, which is good to see. Maybe this was the game that could be the turning point for him to kick on and start producing some of those top performances that we're used to seeing him throw out there at the Emirates and throughout the season. Looking at the passing shape for both sides as well as the action areas. Starting with action areas, we can see with Arsenal very much wide, and that's mainly because of 2 reasons. Number 1, Aston Villa like to play with around 3 people in midfield at times, more of a 5-3-2, if you will. And this was contributing to a narrow midfield, meaning that Arsenal could get wide as and when they needed to. Arsenal also have a lot of their strength down the width of Arsenal's moving forward in what you would say is Bukayo Saka and Martinelli. A lot of the success this season has come from those 2 players. Gabriel heading out towards that left, coming in from that side as well. And this game was absolutely no different. The only thing of note from the passing shape of Arsenal is that Granit Xhaka was found slightly deeper, as you can see on the graphic, playing alongside in more of a double pivot with Sambi compared to when he plays with Thomas Partey. And I think that just comes down to experience. Sambi needs that support, and boy, did he have a very good game. And also Kieran Tierney, although he is a very, very good technical football player, he's not on the same plane as Zinchenko in his all-round ability in playing various different positions and in the system that Arteta has started to implement this season. So we can see here that Ben White and Kieran Tierney are far more wider than what you will have seen when Zinchenko's playing, for example. And we can see Martinelli and Bukayo Saka tucked in just slightly more than we're used to as well. Gabriel Jesus dropping a little bit deeper, but that is just part of his game. But some very, very good stats and some information to digest. Looking at the key moments from this game, I did try my best to find some still shots of Arsenal shape compared to Aston Villa's. There just weren't any available, unfortunately. But looking at picture number 1 here in the top left-hand corner, Granit Xhaka does receive the ball on the left-hand side, takes a bit of a shot/cross, if you will. Now, this should be bread and butter stuff for Emi Martinez. Unfortunately for him, he fumbles it. And as we can see here highlighted in that red circle, Jesus is the quickest to react. And unfortunately for Mings, the one marking him, he should have potentially have reacted a little sooner. And just behind him, we can see Martin Odegaard making that late run into the box and not being picked up either. So some big, big question marks there over the Villa defence. In picture number 2, not really too much to analyse here, really. A corner comes in from, well, the right-hand side. And unfortunately for Aaron Ramsdale, the ball is just in a position just in front of him, and he is being blocked off. The Villa player is standing his grounds somewhat, maybe sort of jostling with Aaron Ramsdale, but he's unable to get around the player because of the way that the ball is moving, the direction of the ball itself. It's difficult for him to go around the player and get to the ball. It was viewed by VAR, and obviously the goal was given in whether or not he was impeding Ramsdale, but the goal was given. And going back to what I mentioned in an earlier part of this video, this is one of those shaky moments that we've seen from Aaron Ramsdale over the last few weeks. Could he have done better, or was this just very intelligent play by Aston Villa? Let me know down in the comments below. Picture number 3 was essentially an instant reply, something that we've seen from Arsenal now in the last 2 games. And this is a new mentality, a different type of Arsenal, not soft in the belly anymore. Arsenal could have capitulated here like we have done in previous seasons, but we are hungry. We've got different players. We've got more winners in the team. And we can see here in picture number 3, Tomiyasu plays the ball into Bukayo Saka, who in a lot of people's opinion didn't have a very good game, but in my opinion, he was good. He was better. He was better than he has been. He lofts the ball towards the back post, and we can see there Gabriel Martinelli waiting to receive the ball, which he eventually does in picture number 4. He still has a lot to do. There is a Aston Villa player between him and the goal. The ball does also bounce up, and we can see here also that Emi Martinez is making his way back towards this side of the goal. So Gabriel Martinelli still with a lot to do. One thing that I will say about this game is all 3 goals, goalkeepers had a big part to play in it. All 3, in my opinion, should have done better. Am I being a little bit too harsh? Let me know down in the comments below. A little bit of player analysis now on the heat map. We can see here for Bukayo Saka, very much situated on that right-hand side, coming deep when needed, offering those wide rotations, swapping in and out with the likes of Martin Odegaard and Ben White, for example. Something that we've often seen since, well, pretty much the beginning of last season. But for someone who is out of form, for someone who isn't involved in the game, I thought Bukayo Saka had a very good game, as I've already alluded to. And these stats do back it up. 93% passing completion, 1 assist, 3 key passes, 1 long ball completed, 5 dribbles completed, 3 shots, and 7 duels. If this is a bad performance, I can't wait to see what a 10 out of 10, a 9 out of 10 performance looks like. Don't get me wrong, this wasn't one of his best performances, but it just goes to show that even when Bukayo Saka is having a so-called quiet game, he still produces those 7 out of 10s. And whilst I appreciate that he probably should have scored the chance in the first half, the open goal, if you will, at the back post, and also the one where the ball fell to him after the fumbling of a ball around the box. Yes, he could have had 2 goals in this particular game, but by no means was it a bad performance from Bukayo Saka. We could have quite easily been sat here now talking about 2 goals and an assist and the rest of the stats. So for me, I can't wait to see what he produces. Maybe we'll be in for a bit of luck and he produces a 10 out of 10 performance against Manchester United at the weekend. We have got Gabriel Martinelli here. He did score the match winner. 62 touches, 83 passing completion, 2 key passes, 3 dribbles completed, 4 long balls completed, 5 shots, and 6 duels won. And if we have a little look here on his heat map, he's not as deep as Bukayo Saka, for example. He's not as wide. We can see here that he's being played as definitely more of an inside forward, and something that we've often seen from Saka. But for some reason, he's changed his game just slightly, Bukayo Saka, that is. And I think that's got to do with maybe his confidence. But this kid has massively, massively stepped up whilst other players are out of form. And this was the season for him to kick on. Originally, in my preview, I had him down as the danger man. But then when posting on various social media websites, after rewatching the Fulham game, and having a look at other people's predictions, I did feel as though he was potentially a little bit tired and may have even been rotated out of this particular fixture with Man United in mind. Boy, was I wrong, and boy, am I happy that he featured in this game. He had an absolutely exceptional performance, and I cannot wait to see how many goals and assists he finishes on at the end of the season. Last but by no means least, we've got Gabriel Jesus, and we can look at his heat map here. He's on the left, he's on the right, he's in that box. His finish today was definitely more of a poacher's finish. We've seen that he offers everything in terms of his finishing ability. We have to look at that first game of the season where he lofts the ball from the left-hand side over the goalkeeper. Today was a poacher's finish. Very, very good stuff. Coming deep as well to do that dirty work. 42 touches, not as involved as other players, but when he is involved, he's dangerous. 74% passing completion, 1 key pass, 1 dribble completed, 3 shots, 1 long ball, and 8 duels. This just screams quality. That's 3 goals now for him in the Premier League. He's had an excellent start to his Arsenal career, and I fully expect him to continue to kick on. But the big question for me to you, those viewers watching, is who is your Arsenal man of the match? I can't decide whether it's Gabriel Martinelli or Gabriel Jesus. So let me know down in the comments below. I hope you have enjoyed today's video. Do keep an eye out for the preview against Manchester United, which is coming up in the next day or so. But if you have enjoyed today's video, go ahead and smash that like button. Subscribe if you are new around here. Get that notification bell button on and go check out those memberships. But for now, I'm JC and I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe and take care.